Hi, it is Ashley with Keller Williams, your local real estate expert, and I am here to talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing. So I'm doing a little bit of training. I am at a conference hosted by Tom Ferry, and I want to talk a little bit about the experience so far. So I've been through the first day. It's 8 hours long, and there's just a lot of information about kind of like the sales process. So for new agents, this would be great for you. If you're like, okay, I don't really know what to do or where to go, this would be one place where you can start, because what they're going to do, from what I understand, is provide us with like all the like different skills and strategies, and then we can take them and apply them in our business, and it will allow us to be more successful and be able to better help our clients, really. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I think at the end of the day, there's just a lot of agents out there that are, just not as good. And I can't really, I can't think of anybody specifically, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And so this course is designed to make you into a better agent and better be able to, really help your clients the best you can. And so I want to talk a little bit about sort of like my big takeaways. So what ends up happening in these conferences inevitably is that it's just like information overload, okay? So I think from the first day, what I took away is this. They had this guy, his name is Bill Pipes. He had 3 people up on stage that are real estate agents that were talking about what things they've done in the last few years that have really made them successful. And while I've heard this before, okay, I've heard it before. So, I mean, I'm just going to pause there and say, what happens is you might hear something or read something at one point in your life, go about, a year later, 2 years later, and hear the exact same thing again and take completely different meaning from it. Now, I mean, it seems so obvious, okay? But this just had a different meaning for me when I heard this lady say it. And I think maybe it's because, I've been kind of like, how do I get my mindset right around this so I can do it every day? I had no problem with it, and then like sort of I got a little bit off track, and now, here's what happens. You're going on a path, and you just kind of change your routine just a teeny tiny bit, and then all of a sudden you're like off, and you're like completely off from where you were going to be originally, okay? So I admit that, okay? It's hard to be disciplined sometimes. But the point is that she was talking about her morning routine and the things she does to kind of get started for her day. And she just made it down, like she narrowed it down to like 1 minute. So there were like 5 or 6 activities. I took like 4 that I thought, okay, these are really doable for me, and I think I'm just gonna take these 4 and run with them. But she had like 5 things that she did for 1 minute each. One of them was looking at her goals. The other thing is gratitudes. The other one is affirmations. And I think she also like exercised for 1 minute. I don't know. Look, I don't really see any point in exercising for 1 minute, but if you want to build in the discipline, do it. Throw that exercise in there. And I think the last one was like something like looking at what her intentions were for the day. And so I thought, okay, I can really take some things there. I can definitely sit down and think about, maybe like long-term goals, short-term goals, and do those each for a minute. Look at gratitudes. I think the other thing she did, she meditated. And then the other thing is work on my affirmations. And so I think I can just work on like those 4 things and do them for 1 minute each day. Now, for them, she seemed to say on stage that this was very effective. Now, of course, I think it's very likely that you need to do it for a little bit longer, but I think what it does at the beginning is it's just kind of focus you. And the thing is once you've gotten that sort of routine built in, you can use it during other times. You can use it during times where you're feeling discouraged, or you're like, oh man, something happened, and you just don't really know what to go and do, or you can't get really motivated to finish out the rest of your day. Well, what maybe you should do is go back to your morning routine and spend exactly 5 minutes, 1 minute looking at your long-term goals, 1 minute looking at your short-term goals, 1 minute focused on gratitude, 1 minute focused on your affirmations, and maybe 1 minute just focusing on your breath. and that can hopefully kind of like sort of like reset you. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've taken away today so far. And I like to keep my videos short. So, we're at 5 minutes right now, and there's just so many small things and big things. We went through the repeat business and referral script today. It was excellent. I think definitely something that can be used all the time and would definitely help, expand your business, expand my business. And I will let you know how that goes. The last activity that I want to talk about really quickly is, he sort of talked about, like our why, like why are we doing things? And I think that's important. I mean, you have to have like a really strong why to kind of like push you through a lot of this stuff, because quite frankly, sometimes it's boring, and it goes back to that video that I recorded about motivation. I mean, you're not always going to want to get up every day and do some of these things that will make you great, and there's nothing pretty and romantic about repeating scripts over and over again. The romantic thing is when you get in there, you talk with a client and you're able to help them and they achieve their goal. So, like that is sort of like the end result of all of the work that you have to do that maybe you don't want to do. Helping them out. I mean, it's nice. You get that kind of like boost, like, oh wow, I was able to use my ability to communicate. I was able to, and this goes beyond just speaking with your client. I was able to communicate with, the other broker. I was able to talk with the lender, all these different people that you have to kind of coordinate in order to make sure that a transaction goes right. So it's very important. The ability to communicate very clearly and, kind of really like to the point, like kind of get to it is also really key. Other than that, that's all I have for you today. Please subscribe to my channel, like my video, find me on Facebook and follow me, and check out my website, ashleybolden.com, and I will see you again soon, YouTube.